Dudu, you can start with your presentation.
All right, I'm starting now. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the last lesson for the week because tomorrow it's Good Friday. The next class will be on Tuesday next week. Then, I remember I gave you homework yesterday. We'll start with that homework. Ne? I hope you guys did it. But before we get into that, today we are doing conversion for time, and then we are doing different time formats. We are also doing rates. That's the last part we'll be doing. And then now we'll start with the solution for the homework I gave you. This is the homework I gave you day before yesterday. Did anyone do it? Please quickly respond if you did it. If not, I can move on or I can give you the solutions. It's up to you before I get into today's lesson. But because it was homework, I'll just quickly move through it. Ne? Mr. Poisons needs to buy sand to build a new room onto his house. Sand is sold for 23 rands per kilogram. Mr. Poisons needs to buy 0.8 tons of sand in order to build the room. So because I told you this was homework, I'll just move quickly through it. We need to write the amount of sand needed in kilograms. Right now we are given the amount of sand in tons. So 0.8 tons, we need to convert that to kilograms. And what's the way of converting tons to kilograms? We convert, the ratio is 1,000 is to 1. So because tons are of a larger value and we are moving, is used to measure larger items, and we are moving to one which measures smaller items compared to tons, we're going to divide by 1,000. No, we're going to multiply, sorry. So it's going to be 0.8 tons multiplied by 1,000, and then you get 8,000, 800 kilograms. That would be your answer, 800 kilograms. Then we calculate the total amount of money he will have to spend to buy enough sand for the project. We are told that it costs 23 rands per kilogram. So the quantity of sand needed multiplied by the cost per kilogram is going to be 800 multiplied by 23, which is 18,400. Then the last part is, if sand is only sold in 50 kg bags, how many bags will Mr. Poisons need to buy? So it's going to be the 800 kg that he has divided by 15 kg. So that was the homework for day before yesterday. I hope you understand. I'm moving on to today's lesson. Today we're doing conversions for time. Time, like we know, when we speak of seconds, minutes, hours, days, you know? So 60 seconds, these are the basics. These are what you should know before you even start working out anything. 60 seconds is equals to 1 minute. 60 minutes is equals to 1 hour. So for the first two rows there, it's a ratio of 60 is to 1. I hope you already knew that, ne? And this is just a recap for you guys. And then 24 hours is equals to 1 day, ne? And then 7 days is equals to 1 week. 365 days is approximately 52 weeks, which is 12 months a year is 1 year. So that's just a quick recap. Now we move on to the calculations. We have different time formats, as you know. We have the 12-hour clock, or it's called the analog. And then we also have the 24-hour clock called the digital. So the 12-hour format and the 24-hour formats differ in this. When we speak using the 12-hour format, you'll always speak of AM and PM. So if it's 8, how you differentiate the 8 is 8 a.m., you know it's before midday. And then 8 p.m. is after midday. So that's how you differentiate the two. So whenever you are there, you are asked to answer a question in the 12-hour format. You need to make sure you always remember to put in your AM or your PM. Then this is usually found in analog clocks and watches, ne? Those you put up on your walls. The 24-hour clock, which is the digital one, is found on digital watches and stopwatches, and even on phones mostly. The difference there is, if we speak of 8 in the morning, you'd write it as the 8, the number 8. But if you speak of 8 in the evening, now it's called 2000 hours, right? Because now it's later. So how do you work out the numbers? How do you work out? This is a table of the different, shows you the differences between a 12-hour clock and a 24-hour clock. 12 a.m. midnight is called 0 hours, ne? 3 a.m. for a 12-hour clock. In the 24-hour clock, you don't need to put in AM or PM. In fact, you shouldn't put in AM or PM when working with the 24-hour clock, because you're just repeating the same thing. You can't write 15 hours and then you write PM. You are repeating, it's like you're saying PM, PM. So you should never do that. You only put AM or PM when working with the 12-hour clock. So if you see the differences here, the times are written the same up until midday. Midday is where 12 p.m. is midday. Midnight is 12 a.m. Those are the differences there. Immediately after 12 p.m., then the changes start. You add, what do you add? After midday, you simply add 12 to the number of hours that have passed. For example, 3 p.m. is 3 hours after 12 p.m. So you work from midday. Your midday is your standard point. If you want to work out 3 p.m., 3 p.m. is 3 hours after 12 p.m. So you put 3 p.m. plus 12, then you get 1500. That's your time. That's 3 p.m. in the afternoon using the 24-hour clock. 8:30 p.m. is 8 hours, 30 minutes after 12 p.m. So 8 hours, 30 minutes plus 12 hours is equals to 20:30. So that's the difference there. Whenever you're asked to work with a 24-hour clock, immediately after midday, you add 12. And then to convert back from the 24-hour clock to the 12-hour clock, you simply subtract the 12. And then this is an example now, just a few calculations. School starts at 7:45. You are in class for 2 hours, 30 minutes. What time will the bell ring for first break? Give your answer in the 24-hour format. Is there anyone who has the answer already who can quickly work it out? We'll do yesterday's homework towards the end because I want to teach the rate part first. That's why we'll do it towards the end. We'll do it after the lesson about rate, and then we'll calculate that. Okay, I see the answers there. Please enable Kopano to speak. He raised his hand. Kopano, you may speak. Okay, I can't see Kopano anymore. Written in words, which is 2 hours and 30 minutes. So now, okay, so now this is when we are adding the calculations. First, we add the hours which is the 0700, because we are just adding the hours. So you could just say the 7 plus the 2 hours, which is going to be 9 hours. Then we add the minutes. To add the minutes, it's 45 minutes plus the 30 minutes. As you can see, on the right side, it's the minutes, which is the 45, and then we are given the in words, which is 30 minutes. We are adding the minutes there. Then we get 75 minutes. 75 minutes is actually 60 minutes and 15 minutes. We know that 60 minutes equals to 1 hour. So to break down the 75 minutes, we have 1 hour and 15 minutes. Then we calculate the total time elapsed. 9 hours plus 1 hour and 15 minutes is 10:15. So the bell will ring for break at 10:15. Let me see who had gotten the... Yeah, a lot of you have given the correct answer there, and I'm glad Christina can see her mistake. Christina, do you understand? A lot of you actually. Should I explain again? Those who wrote 9:25 and 9:15. Is it clearer now? Can I move on, or should I repeat again? All right. Okay, I'm moving on then. Thank you. Then the second one is Palisa starts cooking dinner at 6 p.m. She has to leave for her choir practice in 1 hour and 45 minutes. What time must she leave? Then the second part of that is we must give our answer in the 12-hour format. So what do we do first? Is there anyone who wants to take us through the steps before I start explaining? Okay, let me move on. First, again, we add the hours. So that's the go-to step. We always start with adding the hours, then we add the minutes, we break down whatever needs to be broken down, and then we combine the two. 6 plus 1 hour. So it's the 6 hours plus the 1 hour, which is 7 hours, which is 7 p.m. Then we add the minutes, which is 0 minutes, because for the 6 p.m. there are 0 minutes. It's just 6 hours and no minutes. So it's 0 minutes plus 45 minutes. Then your answer is 45 minutes there. We calculate the total time that will elapse, which is going to be 7 p.m. plus 45 minutes. Then the answer is 7:45 p.m. It's important to put the p.m. because they expressly stated write your answer in the 12-hour format. If they had written write your answer in the 24-hour format, then our answer would take the 7:45, add 12, then it would be 19:45. There, oh, that's actually the next question. Convert your answer to the 24-hour format. Palisa must leave the house at 7:45 p.m. We're converting it's very important to note also, they asked what time must she leave. So it's important that after your calculations, you put the statement there that she must leave at 7:45. That's when you are giving them the answer they asked for. You've shown them how you got to the answer, then you answer the question that was asked. And now we are converting our answer to the 24-hour format. To convert to the 24-hour format, as we've explained, you simply add 12 hours to the time. Because 7:45 p.m. is after midday, that's why we are adding 12 hours. So it's 7:45 plus 12 hours, then it's 19:45. Next, the bus leaves school at 14:30. It takes 70 minutes to get to Mulalo's house. What time will he arrive at home? Give your answer in the 24-hour format. First, we break down the 70 minutes into hours and minutes. Because why? As soon as you get minutes and any number that is given in minutes, which are above 60, which are 60 and above actually, then we need to convert and break it down to hours and minutes, because we know that 60 minutes is equals to 1 hour. So even if you were to get 65 minutes, you need to break that down to 1 hour and 5 minutes, you know, so on and so forth. Whenever you get more than 60 minutes and above. The same applies for when you're working with seconds. If you get a value which has 60 seconds or above, you need to break that down. You break that down between minutes and seconds, because those are the conversion factors, if you remember. 1 minute 60 is equals to 60 seconds. 1 hour is equals to 60 minutes. That is why whenever you get any value which is 60 or above, you need to break it down. So that's why we are now breaking down 70 minutes into hours and minutes. We know that 60 minutes is equals to 1 hour. So 70 minutes minus 60 minutes is equals to 10 minutes. So the bus ride takes 1 hour and 10 minutes. Now we add the hours. The 14:30 plus the 1 hour. So you could add the 14 hours plus the 1, you'd get 15. Then you'd add the minutes together, which is 30. Your final answer at the end of it would be 15:30. Then adding the minutes there, it's 15:30 plus 10 minutes, it's 15:40. So Mulalo will arrive home at 15:40. I hope you're following. We had the 30 minutes there plus the 10, which was left over from the 70 minus 60. That is why we have 40 minutes there. Then the 15 hours there is from the 14 plus the 1, which was worked out. That's why we have 15:40. We convert our answer now to the 12-hour format. To convert to the 12-hour format, we subtract 12 hours from the answer. So 15:40 minus 12 is equals to 3:40. We know that 15:40 is after midday. So Mulalo will arrive home at 3:40 p.m. Whenever you're asked this, you will definitely be getting a mark for indicating the AM or the PM and a mark for the number or the value you have calculated. So in order to get full marks, you need to write both the correct number and the correct unit or the correct value. Are you still okay? Should I move on? Yes, everyone who got 15:40 was correct. Someone said 1 hour, 10 minutes. I see that. It's Should I explain again? If anyone wants me to explain again, I will. Because I'm seeing another answer there, which was 13:10. Okay, everyone is saying they're fine. Seth wants me to run it one more time. Okay, let me run it one more time. Oh, okay, Kamuela, I understand what you did. All right, thank you for explaining. Okay, Seth asked that I run it one more time. So I'm doing it. The bus leaves school at 14:30. It takes 70 minutes to get to Mulalo's house. So your starting point here is 14:30. That's the first time you have. You have hours there, which is 14, and you have minutes, which is 30. Because it takes 70 minutes, you need to break that down. And remember, I explained the reason why we are breaking it down. Because we know that 60 minutes is equals to 1 hour. So you say the 70 minutes minus the 60 minutes is equals to 10 minutes. So the bus ride takes 1 hour and 10 minutes to get to his house. Where even if he were to leave at 3 a.m. in the morning, it would take 1 hour and 10 minutes. But right now they are telling us the exact time he leaves school. That is why we are working from 14:30. But it's standard that it takes 70 minutes to get to the house. So we know it takes 1 hour and 10 minutes to get to the house. We add that 1 hour and 10 minutes to the 14:30 to find out the difference between the time he leaves school to the time he gets home. That is why we are adding the hours. 14 hours plus 1 hour would give you 15 hours. Then the 30 minutes plus the 10 minutes will give you 40 minutes. That is why we have discovered that Mulalo will arrive home at 15:40, which is 70 minutes after 14:30. So that's what we wanted to find out. We wanted to find out what time exactly is 70 minutes after 14:30. Then we converted to the 12-hour format where 15:40, because 15:40 is in the afternoon, which is after midday, we need to subtract 12 hours. So 15:40 minus 12 hours is equals to 3:40. And the most important, we need to indicate that it is PM. If you do it like this, you get your full answers. Now, you don't need to be explaining that first we break down, whatever. This is just for the purposes of the class, so you understand the calculations we are doing and why we are doing them. Then now I'm getting into ratio. The reason I started with time is because ratio is mostly linked with time. Oftentimes we need always, most of the ratio calculations, they have time involved. And that's why I wanted you to understand how we convert the time so that when you work with the ratio, you're not confused. Now, don't get me wrong. Not all ratio calculations involve time, and you'll see just now. So rate is like a ratio. It's a comparison between two numbers or measurements, but the two numbers in a rate have different units. For now, the calculations we've been doing ever since we started with measurements, we've been emphasizing on making sure that you convert all your values to be in the same unit. Remember, ever since we started with length measurements, volume, area, whatever, we have always emphasized that you convert them to the same unit. But now for rate, it is different. In rate, you're actually comparing two different units. Rate compares quantities of different kinds, exactly what I just explained. These are the examples. Cost of a telephone call would be, what's the rate of that? It would be, this is an example, ne? It would be like 50 cents per minute. Price of paraffin would be 4.50 per liter, because paraffin would usually be sold in liters, and then there's a unit price for each liter. So you'd pay 4.50 for 1 liter of paraffin. So if you were to buy 10 liters of paraffin, it would be 4.50 multiplied by 10. Ne? Same as with the minutes there, the 50 cents per minute. Speed limit is equal to 60 kilometers per hour. Pulse rate is 90 beats per minute. Exchange rate is 8.15 rands per dollar. Now you can see this is a very long time ago now, because now we are looking at 18 rands per dollar. But anyway, if you look at the note there, you'll notice that any rate ratio uses the word per to indicate that it compares one quantity to one unit of another quantity. So in the example of cost of a telephone, if you were to write it in ratio form, it would be 50 cents is to 1 minute. One for paraffin would be 4.50 is to 1 liter. The speed limit would be 60 kilometers is to 1 hour. So it compares it to one unit of another quantity. That's what you should always note. It is always comparing to one unit of another quantity. Then, example, Elias, a star athlete, runs 100 meters in 15 seconds. What is his speed in meters per second? We are given here. Now, to work this out so that it doesn't confuse you, before you start with your calculations, write down your given values. Always write down what you are given and what you need to calculate. We are given 100 meters, and we understand from reading this that 100 meters is actually the distance. Then we are given 15 seconds. 15 seconds is time. So the 100 meters, you can call it length, you can call it distance, anything really, as long as it's really explaining whatever it is. We know meters, we use it to calculate length or to calculate distance. Ne? That is why I said 100 meters is equals to distance. And the 15 seconds is time. There's no other way. 15 seconds is time. What do we need to calculate? We need to calculate the speed in meters per second. The rate, as we said, will always involve two quantities. We've got here, in this example, we've got meters and we've got seconds. That is why in our answer, in the question there, they want us to calculate the speed in meters per second. What's important to note here? If you know, probably if you are doing physics, you would know that this is a formula for speed. If you didn't know that, it's still okay. As long as you put down the values you are given and you work out how to put your formula, you'll be able to get the correct answer. How would you know how to put your formula? They say we must calculate the speed in meters per second. Remember, I explained to you that this is like ratio. On the left, you've got meters. On the right, you've got seconds. So to calculate this, the one on the left, which is meters, should always be at the top. The one on the right, in this case, which is seconds, should be at the bottom. So at the top, we have 100 meters. At the bottom, we've got 15 seconds. So this is how we will find our rate, because you can look at the unit there. Looking at this unit, you know your final answer should be meters per second. This line here, which represents per, is the same as divide. So this line which represents pair is the same line which is the dividing line there, which is dividing the numerator from the denominator. So think of it like that. This line indicates divide. So it actually means meters divided by seconds. So think of it that way, then you'll always be able to calculate your rate. I hope you understood that. Meters per second. The one on the left will be your numerator. The one on your right will be your denominator. The line there, per, indicates the line which is dividing the two. That is what you'll do now. Then you substitute 100 meters divided by 15 seconds. The answer is 6.67 meters per second. That is the speed in meters per second. In this case, the rate we were calculating is the rate for speed. So there are rates for different things. Is it clear, everyone? Can I move on from this part? Okay, thank you for the responses. Next part. If he was able to keep running at this speed, how long would he take to cover 1 kilometers? We have worked out the formula, which was speed is equals to distance over time. But that's not very important right now. This formula is not very important. The most important thing is you need to know where to substitute which value. So fine, we've worked out the speed, which was 6.67 meters per second. And then they are asking us how long would he take to cover 1 kilometer if he's maintaining the same speed. So now, what problem do we have here? We have our quantities in different units. We have speed in meters per second, and then we have distance in kilometers. In the previous question, when we answered question 1, we're just saying meters divided by seconds, and that's why we got our answer there. But now we are working in a different equation where we need to substitute in this speed that we have, which is 6.67, and we need to substitute the 1 kilometer. But we can't, we need to convert one of the two. So because it's easier right now to just convert the one with only one, comparing only one quantity, which is the distance, that's why we are converting the kilometer to meters. So it's going to be 1 kilometer multiplied by 1,000 to get my value in meters. So I have now 1,000 meters. Then I can work with these values. Speed, if you see at the top there, speed is equal to distance over time. So speed is 6.67 meters per second. Our distance that we are calculating is 1,000 meters divided by the time. The rate is always on the left, and then equal sign, it's the other values we are comparing, the two quantities we are comparing, which is the distance and the time. Then to get our answer, it's the cross multiplication once again. I didn't draw the line between the 1,000 because there's no number, which if you know, as we know, when you have a whole number and if you want to convert it to fractions, then it's like that whole number over 1. So we don't need to write the 1, right? That's why I didn't show the line there. So it's just going to be 6.67 multiplied by t is equals to 1,000 meters. We are solving for t in this case because we want to find the time. The question is saying, how long would he take? So we were calculating the time. So to solve for t, you divide by 6.67 on both sides. What you do on the left, you do on the right. Answer is t is equals to 149.999 and they're recurring. We convert that because the 9s are recurring. So we just have 150 seconds.
You do?
Now we need
15 minutes to end.
How many?
15.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you. So we have 150 seconds. Remember what I told you? Because 1 minute is equals 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds. Whenever you are given seconds in values that are above 60, we need to convert that and break it down to minutes and seconds. So we have 150 seconds. Let's divide that by 60. To convert from seconds to minutes, we divide by 60. Divide by 60, you've got what? You've got 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, when I put it in my calculator, you say 150 divided by 60. Your answer there should be 2.5, right? Everyone probably got 2.5. 150 divided by 60, your answer would be 2.5. Now, that answer, which is 2.5, we need to break it down so that because we are dealing with time, it's not like dealing with the usual calculations we're working with. Because this is time, the 2 indicates the 2 minutes, right? Plus the 0.5 is still 0.5 minutes. So we've got what we have converted to from seconds to minutes. So we now have 2.5 minutes, which is 2 minutes plus 0.5 minutes. We have 0.5 minutes. How many seconds is that? If 1 minute is equals to 60 seconds, what is 0.5 of 60 seconds? It is the 30 seconds. And that's why in our final answer, to the conversion of 150 seconds is actually 2 minutes, 30 seconds. The mistake students usually make would be to write 2 minutes and 5 seconds because they looked, and 50 seconds because they looked at the 2.5. Now that's why I'm trying to explain this. The 5 there only represents the 0.5 minutes, and you need to convert that 0.5 minutes to seconds. That is why our answer is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, great. Next question now. Cheese costs 56 rands per kilogram. Thandi buys 200 grams of cheese. How much does she pay? Now the rate we are working with now is rands, comparing them to the weight or the mass. We are not being technical about the terms right now. Mass and weight, if you are doing science, you'd understand them to be different things. Right now, we'll just use the two terminologies interchangeably. So for the purposes of this lesson and for the purposes of when you are writing your paper, mass and weight mean the same thing. Ne? You'll deal with the differences when you get to the physics class. So for now, cost is equals to 56 rands per kilogram. What are we comparing here? The price over mass, or you'd say the price over weight, like I've just explained. The rate is always on your left, equals to the prices, the values you are comparing there. It's the rands, like I explained. The rands will be at the top, the kilograms would be at the bottom, because the one on the left will be your numerator, the one on your right will be your denominator, and then the line indicates division. So it's price divided by kilograms. So it's 56 rands per kilogram equals to price over 0.2, because when you are substituting in, you've got what? You've got the rate and you've got the mass. How did I get 0.2? We are given 200 grams. I converted the 200 grams to kilograms because my rate is given in rands per kilogram. That is why I had to convert my mass or my weight to kilograms so that I can fit in the formula. We've converted now, that is why we have 0.2 kilograms there. Then again, you cross multiply. Price is equals to 56 multiplied by 0.2, you get 11 rands 20 cents. 11 rands 20 cents. That will be your final answer. Below that, I was just showing you how they play around, or how you to help you understand better the units used here. It's 56 rands, as you can see, over kilograms. Multiply by the 0.2 kilograms. Ne? So it means it's the 56 rands multiplied by 0.2 kilograms. You would get 11 rands 20 kilograms over kilograms. The kilogram on the numerator divides and cancels out with the kilogram on the denominator. Then your final answer is 11 rands 20. This explanation is to help you. Should you ever get confused, look at your units and think the math behind it. Play around with your divisions and multiplications, and then you'll understand why your answer should be the way it is. Price, it's definitely 11 rands 20 because the kilograms have cancelled out there. And that's how it helps with rate. As long as you understand how your divisions and multiplications work, then you'll be able to solve this even if you don't understand the formula. Then now, this is yesterday's homework. Remember, I said we'll do question 3. I just put in the slide so you remember the calculations we're doing. Did anyone solve yesterday's homework before I continue? This is the last question. So who did yesterday's homework? Can they quickly type in the answer? For number 3, the homework was for number 3. So who did the homework for number 3? No one did the homework. Why are you doubting it? I can't pronounce your name. I'm sorry. It's Lemondre. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correct. Please teach me how to say your name. Can you unmute? Oh, okay, Lemondre. Okay, fine. Thank you. She got 14 hours, 10 minutes. Is she the only one who did it? Did anyone do the homework? Okay, I'm moving on because we can't. So the question was, when the school fills the pool, they use a pump which pumps water at a rate of 2 liters per second. Okay, Tana, I understand. How long would it take to fill up the pool? Give your answer in hours and minutes. We had already calculated the volume in liters, which we found to be 97,500, as you can see on the screen. 97,500 is the volume. Then now they are giving us the rate to be 2 liters per second. How long would it take to fill up the pool? Then answer is on the next slide. Let's go through it together. The rate is given to be 2 liters per second. So looking at the rate, you can work out the formula. Liters is used to measure what? Volume. Seconds is used to measure time. That's why the formula for this rate is equals to volume over time. We got the formula from the rate that is given to us. Then we substitute. We substitute the value for rate, which is 2 liters per second. We substitute the one for volume. We already calculated it in question 1 and 2 yesterday. So it's 97,500 liters over time. For those who were not in yesterday's class, it doesn't matter because today's lesson is about time and rates. So that's why I'm giving you what the volume is and what all the other aspects are. So don't worry, you're not missing out on anything. So 2 liters per second is equals to 97,500 liters over time. Once again, cross multiply. 2 liters multiplied by the 2 liters per second multiplied by the time. That's why we have 2 times t there is equals to 97,500. Then we're solving for t. Divide by 2, divide by 2. My time is equals to 48,750 seconds. 48,750 seconds. Then again, what is it saying there? We must give our answer in hours and minutes. First step, we're converting to minutes. 48,750 divided by 60 is 812.5 minutes. Convert the minutes to hours, which is 812.5 divided by 60 is 13.54 hours. Now we need to break down that answer again. We have 13 hours plus 0.54 hours. 13 hours is given, we're done with that part. We have the 13 hours. Now we need to convert that 0.54. The easiest way you can do it without cracking your skull is what we've done. Because this 0.54 is in hours, just involve your conversion factors and convert hours back to minutes. How do we convert hours to minutes? Because 1 hour is equals to 60 minutes. Then we take our value 0.54 multiplied by 60. Then you've got 32.4 minutes. Then our answer is what? 13 hours, 32 minutes. That is the answer, ladies and gentlemen, and that is it for today. Are you okay? Okay, Stella is asking that I move to the previous slide. The previous slide, which shows the calculations for 1, 2, and 4. Is that the one you're talking about, Stella? While Stella answers, is everyone else okay with this answer? Do you understand how we got the rate? Okay, let me go back to the previous slide since everyone is okay. Is that fine, Stella? Now, while Stella is looking at the slide, can you guys quickly put in the chat box there the topics you want covered for next week? And then I'll choose the one the majority are going for. So quickly type in whatever topic you want us to deal with, and then I'll do that. So the more, it's majority rules in this case. So that, yeah, so Tana, we covered measurements this whole week. But because I think you missed those classes, they'll be on YouTube. They'll all be uploaded on YouTube. They said by Monday, all of the lessons will be on YouTube. So I advise you to go to YouTube, Africa Teen Gigs, and then you'll find the Maths Lit classes there. Since last week, Thursday, we've been doing measurements. So you'll definitely find all those lessons on measurements there. If you have questions, you can send through your answers. Henya is asking what is the answer for question 3. This is the answer, Henya. 13 hours, 32 minutes. That was the one that was for homework for those who were in class yesterday. Okay, it seems like financial math is winning here. And then the box and whisker. Financial maths, box and whisker, and text. All right, so those are the 3 leading topics. We'll see then on Monday, but it will be one of the three next week. Financial maths, Boxer Whisker, and text. You'll see those three next week, ne? That's what we'll focus on for next week. So you decided the topics. Yeah, we'll do tariffs when we do the text. I'll combine it with the text lesson. So we'll do tariffs then. No, tomorrow there's no class, Kamu and everyone, because it's Good Friday. I don't know if you can still notice even. I had forgotten completely. But it's Good Friday tomorrow. It's a public holiday as well as on Monday. There's no class. So the next class is on Tuesday. I've noted down all the topics that you guys have given me, and we'll try and cover them in all the lessons, hopefully. The time, Andrew is asking, time for maths literacy lessons at 3 p.m. Monday to Friday. The only exception is tomorrow and the coming Monday because of the holiday. But every Monday to Friday, 3 p.m., it's the maths lessons. Go to Africa Teen Geek on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You'll find the links to the Zoom class daily. So we'll always share those every morning for the class because the links change every day. So you'll find them on Facebook. Ne? Is everyone okay now? And these are the hashtags to use if you want to find out more information. This is where you can go for more information. This is where you can find us to get more information that will help you. If you still have more questions about the lesson, then we can be able to answer from there. So whether you're on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, go through these links and then we'll help you. That's it from me. Are you guys okay? Can I go now? How much time do we have, G?
We are on 3:46, so actually time has lapsed. But if you would like, we can push it another 4 minutes.
No, I think we fine. They all, you guys are okay, right? Is everyone in class okay? Hello, Bonnie. It's the first time I'm seeing you today. I think everyone is fine. We can end it. See you next week, everyone, or you will hear from me next week. Enjoy your long weekend and your Good Friday.